Good morning, everybody. John, you said you're heading off to Austin for work. So we'll safe travels to work. Thanks for popping in this morning. So hi, everybody. Good Monday morning. What is today? What is the date? Is it March 3rd, 2nd, 25th? Is it June, July? Is it 2026? I don't know. It is the 3rd, isn't it? Absolutely. Okay, well, where did the 2nd go? I don't know. Like, seriously, I don't ever know what day it is. Okay, phone, stay there. I live and breathe off of, funny, my calendar, which means I should know what day it is, but I only typically know what day of the week it is. Everything else just flies by too fast. But anyway, good morning, everybody. Happy you are joining us. As always, it's a little bit chaotic here in our mornings. I woke up, Alyssa had gotten everything ready yesterday, and I woke up this morning, like the computer was kind of dark, and I was like, it's usually not like dark when I wake up. And I was, rubbing the little pad going, okay, computer, wake up, like magical powers. I'm like, whammying it, trying to get it to wake up, and it did not. So I pushed some buttons and I figured it out. Very proud of myself. I mostly got it done, although Allie did have to come in and figure out probably the most important part of it. But anyway, I think the computer just went to sleep. It was just tired, much like me. I'm like really tired. Although I got up super early this morning, so I'm awake a little bit more than I normally am on a Monday morning. So how about you guys? How was your weekend? How was your week last week? Did anybody do anything fun? Did you go anywhere? I know that our dear friend, coffee time friend and family, Shafiq, we talked about him last week. He is the one that gave us these mugs that are still sitting here, by the way. I've been using one of them to hold all the pens from my little workstation. But he sent me some pictures. They had a wonderful family vacation. I won't give all the details because that's not my place to do it. But if Shafiq happens to be here, I don't even know if he's back yet or not. But I love it. Those little things make me so happy that we are friends from afar, and that people kind of keep me. I don't know, they keep me in their mind every once in a while. They're like, oh, we're visiting this really cool place. Let's send Amy some pictures. Or I was out shopping today and I saw this really cool piece of furniture and I wanted to show it to Amy. Or I saw this really great Winnie the Pooh thing at Disney. So I love that. That's just another way of our deeper connection, I think, than just normal, buy a house, leave, see you later. I love this. This is great. So thank you. I hope I got to everybody this morning. I know a few of you may have popped in. Grateful Drifter, Miss Susan popped in. I love it. So yeah, I'm super excited. We have a lot to talk about today, but candidly, I don't know what we're talking about. You hear Easton in the background. He likes to make his presence known. There he goes. When we work on this, I just like I did with Eric, I would come up with some topics based on some things that actually happened throughout the course of the week, transactions, clients, things that happened while we were showing homes or when a home was being showed that was one of our listings. All those things are really relevant because they're real. So we try to do our topics that way. But then when I send them, sometimes I forget what they are. So we're talking about stuff today. Let's figure out what it is as we get to that point. So anyway, did anybody do anything fun? I want to look and see. Also, I've got to remember to clean my glasses before coffee time starts. Do you ever do that? Like you forget to clean your glasses, or you're looking at someone who has not cleaned their glasses and all you see are smudge marks? Anyway, that would be me this morning. Okay, anybody do anything fun? Jane says, hi, Easton. He's over there playing, by the way. Susan says, sorry we are late. Maddie, Sarah, and I are all here now. Hi, guys. I love you. I miss you. I can't wait to see you guys. Susan, we're going to pick a date here soon. Very, very, very soon. Lots going on. Susan's going to be here to help. Yep, Susan said hello to Easton as well. Easton, would you like to make a debut? You want to see him? Come here. This will be our baby. Ooh, ooh. Let's see if he can do what we want to do. He's probably not going to do it. Come here, baby. Come here, bud. Yes. Don't push buttons. Good Lord. Please don't push buttons. Easton. Hey, Easton. Oh, no, you just see yourself. Well, anyway, he does little raspberries at us, right? Say hi, everybody. You want to buy a house? He's my new logo. Do you want to buy a house? Easton, say hi. Say hi. Okay, big boy. Are you ready? He's like, I want the buttons. No, sir. No. All right, Mama. Okay, there's Easton's debut. Isn't he adorable? I have to tell you, these babies are just, yep, Amy, they're all like, he's so cute, he's so cute. Yes, he is. He's very cute. I can't wait. Hopefully get to see Elsie today too, so that'll be fun. And Elizabeth, and it's so cute when they play. It's just, they couldn't see each other for a long time when the babies were born, just because they were infants, right? And they newborns and the rules, and you want to make sure that you're not germing up the place and putting either baby at risk. So excuse me. So, it took a little while there in the beginning, and then when they're infants, they don't know where they are anyway, right? But gosh, these past couple months have been amazing with them sitting up and playing, and I have a big little play area. Well, that's just an oxymoron. A big area over there for them to play in, and anyway, they have a lot of fun. So happy to see Elsie this morning too, hopefully. So anyway, all right, let's get going to our brewing topics. Jay, you said yes, you are constantly cleaning your glasses. Me too. Me too. I remember one time it was so embarrassing. I was sorry, my little text messages from Sarah. I was with a builder. We were chatting about something, and she's like, "Can I just take your glasses for a minute?" I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, so she actually pulled out of her drawer and cleaned my glasses, and I was like, "Well, that's pretty embarrassing." But anyway, all right, let's see what we got here while the brewing topics start. Ready? Let's do our brewing. Oh, sorry. I was looking at my video that Sarah and Susan sent. Okay, so here are our topics for today. You don't know what you don't know, lender advice, and ask for proof. So first of all, before we get to these, I don't know if she's here because I don't know if she's going to chat, but I want to give a quick shout out to Lisa with Main Street Homes. She was going to maybe try to pop in. Builders always have meetings. Most builders have meetings on Monday mornings. And so I don't know if she's here, if she was able to pop in. Hey, Lisa. All right, let's go on with our topic. So you don't know what you don't know. What did I mean by that? I have to tell you, I really have to think about you don't know what you don't know. Oh, yes, I know what that was. Okay, good. So let's talk about this one. So when you go to the design center, and this just happens over and over and over again, and I cannot explain it enough. It's unfortunate that you don't have, in preparation for buying a home from dirt, where you're picking and choosing every single option. You're picking the lot, you're picking the floor plan, you're picking the exterior elevation, you're picking all of the structural options, and then you go pick all the design options. It's a shame that you don't literally have a list. It would honestly be a book of all of the things that you have to choose, and how confusing it can be, and how many things you don't budget for. And I see this all the time. The builders are getting better, and this is true for most builders. They're all getting better at providing some sort of a workbook, or maybe even an online portal where you get an idea of what design options could look like, what the standard options are that are included. But it obviously doesn't give pricing, and of course they can't give the pricing. That's understandable that they can't give you pricing until you have contracted with your specific structural options to know exactly what cabinet configuration your kitchen layout is going to be, so that they can then price those cabinets per level accordingly to your floor plan and layout. So that makes sense. Now add that confusion times 1,000, and that's a lot of information. There's just simply no way to expect a builder to be able to give you everything in detail pricing wise until after you've contracted. But from the buyer's perspective, I don't know if I can afford that house until I know what that bottom line is going to be. And to make it worse, you have to choose those structural options prior to knowing what that final number is going to be. It can be a bit of a mess. So you might end up going, okay, well, this is great. I've allowed X amount in my budget. Maybe it's even a very generous budget. But you probably didn't realize that maybe your house doesn't come with a light at your front porch. It may come with an overhead light, because by code, most codes, county codes, state codes, building codes, are going to require that all the walk spaces, entries, and exits are going to have lighting. hallways have to have lighting. There's certain places that by code have to have a light. It has to have a light. It doesn't say it has to be a pretty light, right? So maybe you just have a flat light up above your, overhang where your front door is, or maybe on the back you have a tiny little light. But maybe you were not expecting that. Maybe you were expecting an actual lighting fixture. Okay. So if you're expecting a lighting fixture, well, that's $100, $200. Just depends on how fancy you want your fixture to be, right? So small potatoes in the grand scheme of hundreds of thousands of dollars. But now let's add towel bars, toilet paper holders. Do you want an extra outlet in a room? Do you, the list just goes on and on. Do you want little niches in your shower? Do you want the glass quarter thing that goes in the corner to hang your shampoo and conditioner bottles on? In the kitchen, do you want soft closed drawers? Do you want the gourmet kitchen option? Now, these are starting to be bigger priced items, right? If you go from a standard kitchen, which is usually just a slide in range and the microwave above. If you want the more upgraded version, which a lot of people do, not everybody does, they're going to want the wall mounted oven and microwave, or maybe even the wall mounted double oven. Those are bigger, pricier options and upgrades. But even the tiny ones add up. $65 here, $95 there, $200 here. You want to upgrade a faucet or a fixture in the bathroom, that's going to add on. If you want to upgrade the lighting fixtures throughout the house or just add them in general. Some builders do not build, this is interesting, some builders do not build with a light in your bedroom. So unless it's maybe the primary, but all of those secondary rooms, it depends on the builder, guys. Some builders have a flat LED in the room in the middle. Some builders have zip, nada, zilch, nothing up there, and they have a half hot, meaning you flip one of the light switches that will affect the top or bottom plug over there on that wall. So if you have a night light or a lamp on your nightstand, that switch then will affect that light. So standing at your door, you can turn on the light so you're not walking into a totally dark room for safety purposes. But some builders don't include that. So if you want even just a simple light, now you have to pay for the pre-wire. It's just a pre-wire. And now if you want, okay, well, I'll just take the flat LED so I can have some light. Well, now you have to pay for that. So you paid for the pre-wire. Now you're paying for the LED. And what if you decide, well, can I have just a fixture? Can I have like the little mushroom looking lamp that you get that's like $10 over at Lowe's? Sure. Not $10 though. But all of that adds up and up and up and up and up, that price goes. That is one of the reasons why you will see a lot of builders doing, depending on the product line, okay? So it does matter if it's a townhome or if it's a bungalow or if even some single family homes. It really does depend on the area and the builder and the price point, to be quite honest, as to whether or not they do a pre-packaged design option. Sometimes it is just a hardcore. You got package A, B, C, D, or E. Which one do you want? Or maybe you didn't get to pick because it was an inventory and it was already picked and chosen for you, which a lot of the communities do that as well. Sometimes it's, do you want the farmhouse or the modern or the contemporary? And then you get two choices within that. And then that's about it. So that is one of the reasons that the builders have gone to that concept, because it makes it more realistic for a buyer. The transparency is there more for the average buyer to go, I don't have unlimited funds and I just kind of need to know. Let's say I want that bay window, and that's a structural option, and I want to add it to my house, but I don't know if I can afford that bay window because I haven't gone to the design center and I don't know what I don't know. Low voltage, guys, you're low voltage. You not only go to the design center to pick and choose your cabinets, counters, flooring, faucet, fixtures, all that jazz, which is fun. It's fun, stressful, but fun. But you also typically have a low voltage appointment. So now we're talking, do you need surround sound? Do you want to have a specific security system in place? Do you want to upgrade that security system? Do you need to have specific low voltage requirements for your work? Maybe you have an actual home office and you really need the big mamma jamma when it comes to fast internet and all of the cats, the Cat 6 and all that stuff. Low voltage is there. Again, not cheap. Maybe you want to have your TV hung high, and so you want that outlet up high and you want the chase behind the wall so that the cords aren't dripping and draping down. That costs money. These are not things that you are thinking about when you are just going gaga over the floor plan and the model home and the community and all of that stuff. So that is why we talk about typically making sure that if you know what your all-in number is, that for here, I tell my clients, okay, we'll back out about 15 to 20%. That could be high. It also could be low, but it's probably more accurate than you think by the time you add those structural options and any potential lot premium and or the design options that you're going to see. So the whole you don't know what you don't know is really about all of those design options and the things that you don't think about and you may not have budgeted for, and it can be very daunting. And I see this all the time when you are trying to be very thoughtful about your decisions and you try to choose your structural options, because here's the thing: once your structural options are chosen, when you contract with a builder, and again, this is my experience here with the builders that are here, could be different elsewhere, and maybe there's a random rogue builder that does it differently. But when you contract to build from dirt, you have to know the lot, the floor plan, the exterior elevation that you want, and all of the structurals. Do you want to add that bonus room? Do you want that to be bedroom 4 or a flex space? Do you want that powder bath to be a full bath? And those are what the builder allows. You don't get to pick and choose and make up your own unless you have a semi-custom or a custom builder. But in this case, that's not what we're talking about. Those have to be chosen, and that is how the contract is written with those structurals, and that's how it goes to permitting with the county. So for instance, I had a client just the other day who's like, oh my gosh, Amy, we just made a mistake. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. We forgot to do this and that and the other on the first floor. Can we change it? And so the first thing we do is we reach out to our builder contact. And, I told my client, I said, honestly, it's probably too late, because when you choose your structurals, that's the way they're working on the blueprints. That's the way the county is working on everything. And that's how they're approving it. So we can't really just change it, even if, and this is what everyone says, but they haven't even started building it yet. Yeah, I know. But there's a whole show happening behind the scenes before they break ground. And you can't necessarily interrupt that. Some builders will do it if it's within a certain time frame where maybe you can make a small adjustment. There's usually a change order fee, which is pricey, but it means they have to redraw the plans. But if it's something big, they usually can't, because it's really, really more involved than we think from our end. So anyway, you don't know what you don't know. There's a lot of things to think about when you are building a house, and all of those little teeny tiny details. Hardware for the cabinets. Like, you would think, don't the cabinets come with hardware? No, they don't. Nope. So if you want hardware, then you need to add that. Backsplash. Nope. You just have to figure out if you want the backsplash. So these are the things you need to think about and plan for. So anyway, all right. Did I miss anything exciting? Allie, you watching all the stuff over there? All I can see, it's so funny, guys, all right, my hair's going wonky. My peripheral vision, all I can see is the big chat bar over here. And I just see it scrolling up and scrolling up and scrolling up. I'm like, what's happening? What's happening over here? Is there a party happening over here in the comments?
Did you answer the question about when purchasing an inventory home, does the builder leave extra tile for future repairs?
I did not see that. Who is that with?
Uzi Afrin.
Oh, there it is. I see it. Yeah. Okay, so when purchasing an inventory home, does the builder leave extra tile for future repairs? Yes. In almost every case, you're going to have, whether it's an inventory home or whether it's one that you built, you're going to have some additional supplies, some of that overage, where you've got, maybe it's the floor planks, maybe it's some backsplash, maybe it's some tiles that were in the shower, really whatever extra material they have. They will leave for you in the garage. I've even had some builders, they've actually left like baseboard trim out there. And sometimes they say, do you want it? If you don't want it, we'll go dump it. But yes, it is always a good idea to hang on to that. I don't know how many times people have hung on to these extra materials and never needed them, versus how many times people have gone, oh, thank goodness, I cracked a tile, I dropped a plate on it, plate shattered, that tile cracked, and I'm so thankful I had that extra tile out in the garage to replace it. I'm sure it happens, but it's one of those things, if you don't keep it, you'll need it. So, but it is always a good idea to hang on to it if you do have it. And yes, yes, absolutely, they will leave that for you. Again, that's normal, right? That's normally what they do. But I can't speak for everybody's situation. I'm sure somebody has bought a home and the garage was empty, but in most cases, yes, they do. All right, let me see. Okay, let's go on to our second brewing topic, which is lender advice. Okay, so all right. So when we talk about, sorry, I'm phone call, cannot answer right now. I'll follow right back up with you. Okay. So lender advice. All right. Lenders. So do you remember the time that we talked about stay in your own lane? Do you remember when we talked about that? Well, it happened again, where I am not a financial advisor, so I'm not going to advise you on what loan structure is going to be best for you. I don't know all your details. I don't know your credit score. I don't know what your debt to income ratio is. That is a private conversation and confidential conversation that you can have with your lender. They are the ones that can advise you on the loan structure that is best for you. However, I will help you when it comes to real estate and being strategic and submitting an offer and making sure that we're giving the best representation of an offer to hopefully help you secure that home. The lender does their job. Let the realtor do their job. Let the title company do their job. And I'm going to use this example because again, it happened again, and it is very, very frustrating. When a lender is trying to, and by the way, we love lenders. Okay, we love lenders. We love you. It's just, it is not in a client's best interest to have the lender advise them on, hey, and you know what, you should ask for like 10 or 20,000 back, towards your closing costs, because that's what they're doing now. Okay, well, first of all, lender, shush. Okay, maybe you don't know the situation from the real estate perspective. And yes, that is true. That in some cases we are able to get concessions back. Yes, for sure, the builders are doing it. They've always done it. But when you are coming in a situation where we have a lot of contingencies that we need to try to smooth over with our potential offer and the seller of the property that we want to get and we want to secure, we're not in a position to ask them for more money towards closing costs. We're already on our knees begging and pleading that they even look at our offer coming in at what we're coming in at. So what happens in that situation is the lender then puts an unrealistic expectation in the mind of the buyer. And we love our lenders. Don't get me wrong. We need them. We want to help them guide us through the process and get us to the finish line. We do. But it is not advantageous. It is not productive for a lender to provide the advice on how the realtor should structure the offer, unless there is a scenario where the lender is like, you are going to have to get at least $10,000 back towards your closing costs in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to make this work. If that's the situation, then okay. Then we can have a discussion. But then we're probably not going to be able to submit an offer on that specific house because we were the underdog on that one. So beggars can't be choosers. Sometimes we have to make sure that we are coming in and we are offering the best that we can. Anyway, so that was another situation. Almost the identical thing happened twice, and that's what kind of prompted the stay in your lane, which is, let the title company do their job, because my gosh, what the title company does in the background, they are not praised enough for dealing with all that chaos and that paperwork. Boy, do we love them. Lenders, love our lenders. We're not able to close on these homes without the lenders going through that mortgage and the underwriting and getting everything clear to close. So we love our lenders. And we love our realtors who are out there with, hopefully professional knowledge of that area that they're helping their clients buy or sell in, so that we can get everybody to that finish line. Because remember what Eric always says, what are you trying to accomplish? And if we are submitting an offer on a property, what we're trying to accomplish is getting that seller to say yes. And then we're trying to get to the finish line. We want to get signatures first. We want the seller to say, yes, you know what? We accept that offer. We are comfortable with those terms. Hallelujah. Now we have to do the deeper dive, and we have to get, the lender has to get everything through underwriting, get us clear to close. Title company is working frantically back there, getting all of the things that they need to do to get us to the finish line. All of us have important jobs to do, and it's important that we stay in our lane. We can help each other, but I'm not a big fan of driver assist on my car. So honestly, I don't appreciate it when a lender will advise a client on where they should look. I've had that one happen. On where they should look and how they should structure their offer. Let the real estate professional do that so that we can help get our client what it is that they're trying to achieve. Can you tell I'm a little sensitive about that? Anyway, all right, so there we go. There's that topic. Again, not sure if anything else is Yes, Pam says it's amazing how quickly that money adds up at the design center. Pam, no joke. It is mind-boggling sometimes, when you look. And again, we talk about this all the time. When you are in a situation when you go to the design center, if you do have to be a little bit budget conscious, then you should be really focusing on the big ticket items, which to me are the most important. Your cabinets and your kitchen. Well, the cabinets throughout the house, but specifically the kitchen. It's the heart of the home. It's where everybody is. It's the centerpiece of your home. So they're going to be seen more and they're going to be used more. And that's important. Opening and closing cabinets a few times in the bathroom is not the same as 50 times a day getting, cups and dishes and spices out of your cabinets. So yeah, cabinets, counters. So your countertops, it's good to go ahead. Those are a pricey item, not so cheap to replace later. So just get the right one the first time. Cabinets, counters, and the flooring. Whatever you want your flooring to be. In my opinion, those are the three big ticket items that you should focus your design center budget on. And then you can go from there. I've said it many times. You can replace a lighting fixture and you can replace a faucet later if you're like, well, let's just take what the standard lighting fixture is that the builder gives us and then we'll swap it out later. Or we're going to have running water. We're going to have faucets of some kind. So keep those faucets, swap them out later. Unless, like I said, there's a builder that doesn't provide lighting in a specific room and you're like, well, it's like a nursery. I kind of need a light there in the middle of the bedroom, not just a little tiny, bedside lamp over there on the side. But anyway, so yes, Pam, I know it adds up quickly, my friend. And the shocking thing is that when you look at the whole contract, when it's all is said and done, and you look at the difference between the base price of the house, the lot premium, the structural options, and then the design. Woo. And then Pam says, and once you choose things at the design center, once you sign, you can't change your mind. Amen, sister. Yes. And again, people are like, well, why can't I change my mind? Like they haven't even started building the house yet. Why can't I change the cabinet color? I want a different cabinet now. Well, it's because that stuff happens and they order it. They send out their purchase orders. There is, and I've described it many times. I describe it like, I describe it like, I guess my background, right? The musical theater background. If you've ever seen a show, you're seeing what's happening on the front. But there is a mess load, a whirlwind of activity behind the curtain that you're not even aware of. That soloist may come out and have this beautiful, calming, very zen performance. But there is a whirlwind of chaos. Like there's tornadoes spinning backstage when you've got all of the technicians and everybody is going everywhere and doing everything. But their job is to do that behind the scenes so that you have a calm experience. So that's one of the reasons we do have to trust the process and appreciate the process. And again, that's their lane. Let them do their job. And I know it does kind of rot because I've done that myself where I'm like, oh, I don't know. I was back and forth between this backsplash. Did I pick the right one? And the answer is, once you signed, yes, you did. You're going to love it. It's going to be the best backsplash you've ever seen. All right, let's do our third topic, which is ask for proof. Okay, so this one is another real life situation, and this one just happened. So so I have a bunch of listings coming active very, very soon. Very excited about that. And in one of the listings, it was I did the numbers, and whenever I have someone who's interested in selling their home, I ask them to fill out a specific document. And on that document, it says, what is your heart number? Heart, right? What are you hoping the home will sell for? What are you hoping? What are you thinking? And some people will go, well, I don't, they're like, they won't fill it out. And they're like, well, I didn't want to tell you because then I figured you just, you'd put that number. And I'm like, well, then you don't know me because that's not going to happen. We are all about transparency and doing the work and the due diligence behind the scenes and doing that deep data dive. And boy, that was a lot of D's just then. You know what's funny? Okay, I have to tell this story. And I'm like, I'm looking for Allie. She's like all over there. So I don't know what this thing is underneath your tongue. That thing underneath your tongue. Okay, so everyone has one. Most people can stick their tongue way out. Mine is very, very thick and big. And every time I go to the dentist, I had to go to the dentist last week. And every time I go, they comment about how they're like, well, you're never going to lose your tongue because mine is connected so well. But they said that most people that have this condition, if it's a child, they usually snip it because it can have a speech impediment later. I do not have a speech impediment. Anyway, I don't know why all those D's just now. My diction, my enunciation was fine, even with my deformity. Anyway, okay. So what was I saying? Oh, so we ask about the heart number, and the heart number is to determine basically how do I need to advise you? How do I help you with your expectation? Are you thinking it is under what I say the data says? Are we in sync? Are we like, thankfully, like we're all kind of, our heads are together here, we're aligned? Or are you in la la land? And the only reason I ask that is truly so that I know how we can approach that subject of pricing, because sometimes the data is the proof. So that being said, so there was a client who I went out and we talked about the listing, saw the house. She needed to get some work done on the home, needed quite a bit of just touch-ups, lots of paint, lots of things like that here and there. And her heart number was really high. Like, it was really high. And then when I went to the house, I saw it, and I try really hard to find a way to justify, like, what can I do? What can I add? What can we kind of, push a little bit to get us as close to that heart number as possible? And in this case, there's a couple things that were very nice that I didn't know that the home had originally. So that helped when I, played with the numbers again. But there was also some detrimental things that were done to the home. For instance, there was a loft upstairs that was changed after the fact by the seller into a fourth bedroom, a little awkwardly. So they lost the loft, but they added a bedroom, which could be fine. It does have legitimately changed in public records. It was all done with a person who knew what they were doing. They pulled permits, so it wasn't like a DIY job. But there were some things that make it a little bit more difficult. Anyway, the long and short of it is that we couldn't get to her heart number. I gave her data after data after data after data, proof after proof after proof of where we should probably list that home and where we should expect it to sell. And it wasn't where she wanted it to be. And so I knew that she was disappointed with that. And that's okay. And by the way, you don't have to choose me to be your listing agent. And she didn't. So she sent me a message saying, hey, I found another realtor. So, thanks for all the work you did. Totally fine. And that's fair, by the way. I don't get every listing. But this is what you need to know. And this is what you need to know. If you are selling a house, I don't care if it's in Montana or Miami or Michigan or Minnesota. I don't know why I'm going with the M's today. But you need to know, if you reach out to someone who, candidly, tooting the horns, is respected and does have a history of performance, right? A history of actually selling houses, then I'm not saying I know everything, but I have a pretty good pulse on what's happening, right? And my goal is the same as yours. Any realtor's goal is the same as yours. We want to get the most amount, most amount of money possible for your home. That is the goal. But the goal that precedes that is actually getting to the finish line. And that number is going to look different for different people. But if you have someone who tells you a specific number and you don't agree with it, that is okay. That was not the first time that has happened to me ever. It's happened many times. But what ends up happening is you will find any realtor, almost, unless you are a realtor that has a lot of experience and a lot of respect with what they do and are not willing to take a listing that is from a seller who's in la la land. And that's okay. We could all be in la la land. Plus, we're attached to our home. we always feel like our home is worth more than maybe it is. But there are a lot of realtors out there that just want the listing, guys. They don't really care about what you want to list it for. They don't care. You could pick a number out of the blue, and if they get the listing, they'll be thrilled because now they have a contract with you and they have the potential of selling this property. It doesn't matter necessarily if it's going to sell at the price you want, if it's going to appraise at the price you want, if it's going to be an expired listing because it's way too high. So the point of this third bullet point of our brewing topics is, even if they agree with you, if you say, I think my home is worth $1 million, and I say it's not, and you find another realtor that says, oh, yes, absolutely, I can sell it for whatever. Even if you're excited about that, that's okay. You can be mad at me or sad at me or whatever. That's okay. But you need to ask that other realtor, okay, now show me the proof. Show me the deep data dive as to why you think this home is worth that. Make it obvious that they need to provide you proof, because that is what happens so many times, and it is so frustrating. Do you guys remember, I don't know if Rob is here today, but there was that house that Eric kept mentioning, and it was in a community nearby, and it was ridiculously overpriced. Like, it was like twice what it was worth. That home is still on the market, guys. It is still on the market, and it has gone down. And we're talking like, I don't know, is it 2 years now on the market? It's been forever. And it's all because the expectation was not realistic. Either the seller did not have a realistic expectation, which is probably the case. The realtor had no business listing a home that was that far out of the scope of reality. And there's a very simple way. And I like to do this sometimes when I'm working with another realtor sometimes. Or if I lose a listing, candidly, I'm going to scope out and see who got it. And then sometimes I look at the production to see, oh, well, that's great. They got a good agent. That's fantastic. That person's got some, for whatever reason, they just disagreed. They found different data than I did. That's okay. Fair. And then sometimes you'll look and you'll go, that person's like never sold a home, or they've sold like 2 condos for like $200,000, an hour and a half away from here. So do your due diligence. Okay. Ask for the proof. And you may not like what it says, but remember, as Eric says, what are we trying to accomplish? Let's all get ourselves to that finish line, even if it stings a little bit. Because, just as many times as it stings, there's a lot of clients who undervalue their home, and I get to come in and be the hero and say, well, here's the proof that tells you otherwise. So I like that one too. That one's more preferable. Let's go with that one. All right, let's move on to something else. All right, what am I missing? Is there anything I'm missing over here? I think Allie's over there, so I don't know if she's even. Oh, yeah, she said Easton is saying thank you. Who did? Vicky. Oh, Vicky. Vicky Mendoza. Hi, Vicky. I'm sorry I missed it. How much on average should you budget for design center, etc.? Honestly, this is a question where I really would go with your local professional. So let's say if you're building here and I'm your client and I know where you're building, I can usually give you a percentage. It used to be like 10 to 12%, then it was like 12 to 15. So now I kind of say, depends on the square footage, to be honest. If you're building a home that's like 1,800 square feet, well, that's going to be a different budget than one that is maybe a 5,000 square foot home or a 4,000 square foot home. So the first thing I would do would be to ask your realtor and say, hey, do you have an idea? Do you have an opinion on how much, you think I should be setting aside and budgeting for my design options, so that when I go to the design center, they should be able to tell you based on their market and their experience. If they can't tell you, that's okay. Maybe they just don't do a lot of new construction. If you are working new construction with, ask the site agent, ask your sales associate that's helping you write that contract. Ask them, hey, in your experience right here in this community with this builder, with this floor plan, what is the average percentage that most of the homeowners end up spending at the design center? They're a very good source of information, because even if they don't know exactly what it is, they can look at the final numbers and go, well, on average, it's been about 10%. It's been about 10%. And then that will help you, Vicky, and anyone else out there kind of budget a little bit more realistically. In my opinion, I would say at this point in my area, budget for 15. Don't be shocked if it's 20. And you could probably keep it at 12 if you were very, some people are like, I don't really care about the finishes. That's fine. So they're okay to go more, builder included features or level one, as opposed to somebody else who, might be at a different price point and they want a level floor cabinet and they want a different upgraded flooring. But I would say on average, no matter where you live, why don't you plan on like 15% and just see where that works? But ask your professionals locally as to what they think and what their experience has been. It's a really good question. Okay. All right, let's move on to some of our other things. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Gary said, I blew way past that. I was around 20% of the total price of the home, including the upgrades. Yeah, it can happen. It can happen. And then Pam said, Gary saying we were aiming for 10%, but we went over for sure. It is just crazy. Roxanne, I haven't met you yet. I haven't seen you on here, but hi, Roxanne. Say hello to everybody. All right. Oh, Shafiq, you are here. Good, Shafiq. I was talking about you a little while ago. I didn't tell our friends and coffee time family where you guys were on vacation, but I was talking about how you sent me those pictures. It's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us. Da, 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 da. There, Jay, I'm interested. This one says mortgage operations here. Totally agree with Amy. I've always personally given my lender permission to speak with my realtor directly. That way they can go over any issues together. That is so smart. I mean, we are all on the same team. We really, really are. And we all want to get that clear to close. We all want to get to closing. We all want to get those signatures and we want everything to fund and we want there to be no hiccups. We want no bumps in the road. But it can create unnecessary bumps, when somebody is trying to advise someone, on how to submit the offer when that's the realtor's job. The realtor might have a different understanding of what needs to happen to secure that property for our client. So yeah, Jay, thank you for that. That's good. Love it, love it, love it. Good. So he did get to join in. Shafiq. I'm just looking at everybody. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, wait. Wait, Kim, are you talking about the tongue thing? Yes, I had to hold my nephew to have it snipped because his parents couldn't do it. Is it for this thing? I don't know what it's called. That little piece of skin down there. Is that what you're talking about, Kim? Let me know. Let me know. I never heard about that before. I never knew about it until I literally was here a few years ago. Yes, sir. I know. Hi, buddy. He's standing up, like just looking at everybody. Yeah, that whole thing is a little bit odd, right? Anyway, so it's just a thing. I'm just weird, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to our, what do you want to do? Let's do word. Let's do word.
Oh, now come on, Amy, tell me what's the word.
Okay. Acre and capital gains. And by the way, I forgot to show you my coffee cup. I know I've had this one before, but I just figured I'd do the Disney one because, we do live here in Disney's backyard. All right, acre. So when I don't know what I was doing the other day. And I think I've told you before, I'm a visual learner, right? If you tell me a story, I can probably retain that information. If you give me a visual or a picture or a graphic of some kind, I can usually remember that. I'm just not the person that could just retain facts and figures and just pull them back and recite them to you. That's just not me. So this was just a funny story, and maybe this will help you guys, and you'll never forget how many square feet are in an acre. Do you guys know? Without looking and Googling right now, do you know? Well, I can tell you that, and I'm only going to do it so I don't screw it up. It's 43,560, and this is how I remember that. So when I was taking my pre-licensing class a gazillion years ago, I had the best instructor. His name was Andy Brown with Clymer School of Real Estate here. Clymer no longer exists. Unfortunately, Andy passed away. But many of my colleagues went and had class with him, and it was in-person class. We did not do it online. Went into the classroom and did all of that. I actually did what they called the Iron Man class, which was every day, Monday through Saturday, all day long. So it was 63 hours, boom, 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 boom. And my brain was absolutely mush. That was the first time I'd been back into a classroom type environment since school. And you're very different when you're an adult going back into a classroom in a learning situation. Anyway, Andy was my guy. Like, he was the perfect teacher for me. He was the perfect person to explain things, to create those funny stories, to always make you have fun in class. And he talked about the acre. He said, if you ever want to remember how many square feet are in an acre, which by the way, I've never needed to use the answer to that question one time in real estate. No one's ever asked me, but 43,560. And his story was, and this is really stupid, so it's going to be one of those like wah wah at the end because it's not really that funny. Big lead up, and it's going to like fall flat. He said, if you just think of four little old ladies driving 35 in a 60. Now that is really stupid. I know it is, but that was the way that I remembered it because in Florida we have a lot of, snowbirds. We have a lot of silver alerts. If you don't know what a silver alert is, it is an older person who is out driving. Maybe they shouldn't be, maybe they're lost, maybe again they haven't taken medication, whatever the reason is, there's silver alert. So it was just kind of funny to have him tell that story. So that just kind of cracked me up a little bit. Okay, and the other word was just capital gains. And again, I am not a financial advisor. I am not an accountant. So I am not going to advise you on all of the rules and regulations on that. But all I want to mention is that the capital gains is taxed on the profit from the sale of your property. A lot of people think it's the whole purchase price amount. That is not the case. So if you bought a home for $500,000 and you sold it for $550,000, it's the profit that would be taxed after you go through and have some other little deductions in there, which again, an accountant or financial advisor can advise you on that properly, but there are ways you can get that taxable amount down with losses, repairs, or improvements or things like that that you've done to the property in preparation to getting it sold. So anyway, if you are in one of those situations where capital gains tax is going to be applied because you haven't lived in your property or your home that long, and for around here, we see that a lot, to be honest. There's a lot of people that will purchase and then, within a year or two, they move to a different house. And then they're like, oh, well, now I have to sell it. And so we have to account for that. And that is something to account for when you get your seller's estimated net sheet as to what that capital gains would look like. And again, not an accountant. I can do an estimated net sheet for you, but I can't plunk all those figures in exactly. So that'll be something that we would coordinate with someone who is on the more financial end of that transaction. Okay. All right. Moving on. Geraint, I just see you over here. I didn't see you earlier. So Geraint is here. Hey, Geraint. And Furman. Yay. Love it. My goodness, look at all these people. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. All right. So, and Gary, you were very close, my friend, on the square footage. Good job. Good job. All right. Let's go on to, are we doing weather, Allie?
Oh, yes, you have
We're doing weather. Okay. So Allie was able, by the way, doesn't that music, it kind of reminds me of breaking news. I don't know why. It just reminds me of breaking news. So I think about Eric all the time. All right. Anyway, so, Dan Newland. Oh, we got that screenshot, did we? This is the weather forecast for this week. 75 and sunny today here in Florida. 77 tomorrow. Wednesday, 83, 50% chance of rain. Thursday, 68. Friday, 73. Can you look at Saturday, my friends? Look at Saturday. 83 degrees. Oh, my goodness. We have an absolutely beautiful week coming here in Florida, right here in Disney's backyard. So if you're planning to visit here this week, if you plan on going to to Disney or to Universal and hanging out and having some fun at all of the many, many attractions, you're going to have a beautiful week to do that. Maybe on Wednesday, a little 50-50, but probably not too bad. All right. That's exciting. Good. All right. I'm going to move on to what I'm watching because I'm watching something new. Shocking. Oh, actually, did you do that? I think she did. We'll see. Okay, so this is where I am. I was watching Love is Blind season 8. Now, I never watched season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. I knew about it, but it never really piqued my interest. And for whatever reason, I watched the first episode and I was like, oh, let's just see. Anyway, so again, I know my taste is all over the place. Like, you guys should take a guess as to what I'm going to watch next because it's literally all over the place. First of all, Gary, you just said that your youngest son, Reese, and his wife are currently on vacation in Orlando. So just so you know, Gary, I don't know if we told you about this, but that was one of the names that my oldest son had mentioned that, you know, he wanted to keep that name maybe as an option for a child one day. So how funny that your child is named that. And let your son and family know if they need anything while they're here, just to let me know, please. I'd be happy to do that. And Pam, you said the bottom one is called the lingual, is it frenum? I used to be a dental hygienist. Okay, well then you will appreciate whatever that thing is. They said they have never seen one so thick and so tight, and they are surprised that I can speak. I said, oh, I can talk. I can do that. So anyway, interesting, right? I know, I'm just kind of a freak of nature in so many ways. It's okay. It's all right. I'm used to it. All right. All right, let's see. We're going to wrap this up here in just a second, guys. Let me just see if there's anything else that we have. Do we have secret or, oh, wishes. I got to do wishes. Wishes. Come on, wishes. All right, so we have a big week this week. Lisa and Kathy, congratulations. Anthony, oh my gosh, I don't even know if we have it on here today. It happened so fast. I don't know if we even had time to update it. We've had a listing that has been on the market for quite a while. It was a situation where it was an estate. The homeowner actually had passed away years and years ago, went through probate, blah, blah, blah. It takes a long time. And then the heirs in the will now have the property, and it's been on the market for quite a while, and it finally went under contract last night. So excited. So Anthony, congratulations. And Terry, I think we may have had her last week, but I think she actually closes this week. And then Kathleen and Rob, I love it. My builder connections are absolutely superstars. I cannot tell you how many times the relationship that we have comes in clutch. It absolutely does. So Kathleen and Rob were here a while back. We were touring some townhomes and some homes that they were maybe interested in. And they found one that they liked. It was going to be an end unit of something. And so they knew what they wanted, but there weren't any available at the time. We had to wait for the next release. And there was kind of a waiting list because like everybody wants the end unit most times of a townhome, right? So one came available. It fell back on the market. The builder reaches out. Hey, Amy, I know you've got clients that are, that want this. I just had one that came back on the market. What do your clients think? And of course, they were on their way here to Florida anyway, because everyone's on their way to Florida. And they were able to go in and see it. And they were going to do a highest and best offer for this. And we were able to get it under contract. I said, look, if we offer this right now, can we get the builder to sign it today? And she reached out to the sales manager and they're like, yeah, we'll do that, because there were other people that were interested. So anyway, that makes my heart so happy that sometimes things fall into place and that those connections, and I couldn't have done it without Jasmine with Rockwell Homes. She was instrumental in helping make that dream come true for them. So congrats again to them. All right. And then the listings, let me see if I can pull this one up. Oh, I don't see there it is. So here are some listings. Now, guys, we have a bunch more coming on the market. I think that's my secret here in a minute. We have a beautiful Alcott one-story. There's extra green space beside it. It actually backs up to a pond back behind it. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, plus a flex space designated office with French doors. Beautiful LVP flooring throughout. Bedrooms are carpeted. Absolutely gorgeous. The one in Groveland, another gorgeous home that we have out there. That was built originally by Hanover Family Builders, which is one of my favorite builders of all time. Absolutely love it. That is a gorgeous home. Actually, we had some activity on it the other day. Still waiting to hear back on that one. The Davenport Townhome is still there. If anyone is looking for a great investment opportunity, that is a good one. It's at a short-term rental area. It does not mean that you have to use it as a short-term rental, but you can. And my clients actually live in it full-time. So it's just a great thing to think about. You can either live there, be close to Disney and all the attractions, or you can rent it out and use it as a liquid source of income. And then the one over here where it says Groveland Villa, that is the one, my friends, that went under contract last night. So congrats to them for that. And then this week, we've got some new listings that are going to be popping up. I can share all that information next week once they go active. Super excited about that. Another large one-story floor plan with a 3-car garage. Absolutely gorgeous floor plan. It's an Ashby floor plan in Lakeview Preserve, which is a gated community. Beautiful. It's by Taylor Morrison and Pulte. Both builders were in that community to begin with. big, gorgeous entrance with the amenity center, and then there's a gated section off to the side, and then there's a gated section even beyond that. So it's kind of a double gated, or it's a little gated community there. That one's coming on the market. I have oh, you know what? We need to add the one that is on the market right now too. We had another one that just went active last week. So we need more screen space for the listings. Well, I guess we can take 3 of those, down, I guess, or move them to the side. Anyway, lots of homes coming on the market. So let me know if you're interested. Give me a call, 407-848-8042, and tell me what you're looking for, because with all these listings coming up, it is very likely that I have what you're looking for. And that would make my heart so happy to be able to connect all of my Heart and Home Orlando family and find the perfect home for them. Anyway, okay, I think that's actually it for today. I was going to do the secret, but I think the secret is the listings that are coming up. And there are, like I said, there are quite a few. We have 2 in Mineola that are popping up this week. 2 in Mineola. There is 1 in Winter Garden. There's 2 in Winter Garden. So there's several coming up here in the next week or two. So stay tuned and call me and let me know. And on that note, I will start the wrap up here. So as always, guys, thank you for joining us for coffee time. I appreciate it. If you have things that, questions that you have, or things that you would like me to do more of or talk more of, let me know. Eric and I used to tweak our coffee time all the time. We would add stuff, and he would create these different little segments and all the fun little graphics in and out. And ultimately, it was our time to have our morning coffee and just chat a little bit about real estate and about life. And you guys are such a part of it that anything that you want to share with us, or anything that we could do that's maybe within our wheelhouse of skill set, I don't know, we'll certainly consider it. But otherwise, we'll just keep on doing what we're doing, which is coffee times Monday morning with you. And then I rush out the door to go deal with clients and go to closings and do walkthroughs and write contracts and hopefully write a contract for you. All right, guys. So as always, we love you. Please stay safe, stay well. Remember, we really do love you. And you guys have a great day, great week. Happy house hunting. Bye. We'll see you next week. And